Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful princess dart dress with side gathers and back waistline. If this is what you're interested in, keep watching, like, share and subscribe. Thank you. So to get started, I'll start by drafting our basic upper bodice, and these lines I marked here are going to serve as my starting point. So I'll go ahead and start marking my measurements. I'm starting with the shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7, and I added half inches, so I did 7.5, and I went ahead to do my armhole length, and the armhole length I'm using is 7 inches. I will just go ahead and mark it this way to have a straight line. So I just mark 7.5 all the way to that point to have a straight line. I'll go ahead and square up this line. To get my armhole curve, I'll go up at the L shape mark by 1 inch. I'll go up at the length of the armhole by 3.5, and I'll come in by ½ inch, and then I'll go ahead and connect the lines like so, and then I'll connect it upwards with a straight ruler. I'll then go ahead to my neckline, and I'm using the basic neckline 3 by 3 inches. I'll just go ahead and square up the line. Then I'll connect my neck point to my shoulder slant of 1.5. I'll go ahead and mark my horizontal measurement. So I'm taking my apex line, which is the bust point line, and then my under bust point, I'm going to mark it there, and then I'll go ahead and mark my half length. I'll repeat this measurements. Most times I repeat them to have a straight line, but if you can roll straight like this, just go ahead and roll. If not, just repeat the measurements on the other side and then have a straight line. So this is it. I'll go ahead and impute my measurements. So this is my apex or bust point, and this is my under bust, and this is my half length. So for the bust point, I'm putting my bust measurement, and the bust measurement I'm working with is 34 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark my 34 divided by 4, and then I'll go to my waist point, my half length, which is where I'll put my waist measurement. I'll impute my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. To take my darts, I'll go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 3.5. I'll mark it on all the lines that I've marked already, and then I'll use my straight ruler to rule it out. Then at the waist point there, I'm going to take out the 1 inch, which is taking ½ inch on both sides of the line, and then I'll connect it to my apex point like this. So with this, I've been able to remove my dart, the 1 inch I added for that. Then I'll go ahead and do my underbust tightening, and for the underbust tightening, I'll just go out by 1 inch at the side front, and I will come out by ½ inch at the center front, and then I'll connect it this way. Connect the lines back to the dart leg. Then I'll use the curvy part of the roller to connect it to the apex point like this. Please take note of how I place my roller to connect. And because we're doing a princess dart, I'll go ahead and connect this line to my armhole. I'll just go ahead and mark out half of the armhole, and then I'll connect the line to the apex point like this. From that point, I'll come down by 1.5 inch, and I'll mark the line and extend it outwards. Now, whatever I take there, I took 1.5 inch at that point. I'm going to replace it at the extended line there and curve it back to the armhole like so. This way, our armhole will not be short by 1.5. So just take note, whatever you mark there, you go ahead and replace it. So I went ahead as well to do my side darts, and for the side dart I used 1.5 inch, and I marked it and connected the line to the apex. So I'll just go ahead and add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch all the way and connect the lines. So this is my front. I'll go ahead and work on the back. So for the back, I'll go ahead and roll out my starting point. So this is where I'll start my measurements from. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the shoulder. I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2. I'm so sorry that my camera was not showing that point. I marked my shoulder divided by 2. The same thing we did for the front, 7.5, and then I came down by 1 inch for shoulder slants for the back, and I marked my armhole line, the length of my armhole, which is 7.5. From that 1 inch point we marked for shoulder slant, and I went ahead to square it up. I went ahead to mark my neckline as well. My neckline for the back is 3 inches by 1 inch, and I just went ahead to square it up, and I joined the shoulder with my shoulder slants with the neck point. I just used my ruler to connect the lines. I'm so sorry this was not showing, but if you've been following my tutorial, you actually know how to do this. It's just the same thing we usually do for all patterns. So that's it. And then I went ahead to do my armhole the same way we did for the front. I just repeated that at the back. So I'll go ahead now and mark my horizontal measurement. I'll mark my apex, my under bust, and my half length. I actually don't need the under bust at the back, so I might actually skip that part. I'll just mark my apex and my half length. Note that the half length for the front is determined by whatever we took out from the side dart, and you know we took out 1.5 inch for the side dart at the front, so the half length for the back is going to be 1.5 inch shorter than the front. I hope you understand. So I just went ahead to impute my measurements, my bust divided by 4 and my waist divided by 4, and I'm going ahead now to mark my dart line, which is my nipple to nipple divided by 2, and I'm taking out 1/2 inch on both sides, and I'm going to just connect these lines to have my dart. At the center back, I went in by 1/2 inch to eliminate bulge at the zip part. So that's my zip tightening of 1/2 inch. I went ahead to add it back to the side so that I won't have a shortage of fabric when I'm cutting on fabric. So I'm just going ahead to add my sewing allowances on the sides. The back is pretty easy. We'll just go ahead and connect the lines like this. And for my princess dart line, I'll just go ahead and mark half of the armhole and connect the line to the apex at the back. So that's basically it for the princess dart and the basic bodice. Now we're going to go ahead and mark the back's line effects for our drafts. Now I want my backs to start 1.5 inch below my half length. I don't want it to start from my half length. So at the side I came down by 1.5 inch, and at the center front I came down by 4.5. I'll just go ahead and extend the lines, which is my side lines, to that 1.5 inch, and then I'll use my ruler to connect that 1.5 inch point to the 4.5 like this. I hope you understand. And then I'll extend my dart legs to the end of the line. I'll extend my dart legs like so. Go ahead and extend the dart legs. So this is basically it. This is basically what it looks like. I'll also repeat the 1.5 inch at the back so that we'll have them equal at the back. So I just went ahead to add my 1.5 inch all the way at the back. because I don't want my backs to start at the half length. I want it to start 1.5 inch below my half length measurement. So this is the reason why I did that. But if you want yours to start at your half length, you don't have to do this 1.5 inch mark. So for the neckline, our neckline is going to be a boat neckline. So I just extended my neckline at the shoulder slant there. I extended by 2.5, and what I have left is 2 inches. So I'll go to the back and just mark 2 inches from my armhole point and then connect it like so. I hope you understand, because we need to have a boat neckline. It's not a normal round neckline. So that is that for that and the draft. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll get my scissors to cut it out. So just go ahead and take out all the darts from the draft. Take it out like this. Just watch carefully to see how I cut off the darts and cut out my drafts. Go ahead and cut out the back. Now I'm supposed to extend that leg to the end of the 1.5 that we marked. So I'll go ahead and do that when I'm done cutting out this. So I'll just extend that 1.5 inch. That's that leg to the 1.5 inch. Sorry. So I'll extend it like this. Please don't forget to extend yours. We'll go ahead and cut it out soon. So this is my back and this is my front. So I'm going ahead to fold my side darts. So when I folded the side dart, I had a pointy edge at the apex area there. So I just used my marker to blend and then I'll trim it off. So always do this in all your drafts, because we don't need a sharp point. We can't sew a sharp point like this. So this is how it will come out to be. So this is the front. This is how we're going to join it. We're going to go ahead now and cut this on fabric and add our necessary sewing allowance. So this is it. I've cut it out on fabric. That's the back, and I added interfacing to the lining. I added medium gum stay to the lining, and this is the front. This is my zipper allowance of 1 inch and then 1/2 inch. I'll go ahead and join these points together and bring it back. So this is my front. I also added my necessary sewing allowance, and I also added interfacing to the lining, and then I added wadding to the bust area. See, I added wadding to the bust area for the center front and for the side front. So I'll go ahead and join these pieces. I'll do the same thing to the lining and I'll come and show you. So this is it. I've joined it. See how it's sitting pretty, and the bust is sitting very fine. And this is the lining. I sewed it the same way I did to the fabric, and this is the inside. I just wanted to show you that it's just wadding that is inside. There's nothing else inside. So when you do your tightening very well, it's going to come out like this. So I'll go ahead and join the neckline, the lining and the fabric right side to right side, and I'll join the neckline and the sides. And this is the back. I've also gone ahead to join the pieces of the back to have this. So this is it, and I've also joined the lining. I'll get the lining. So this is the line I've joined it. So I'll go ahead and place it right side facing each other, and then I'll turn the neckline and the sides and also the zipper part. Now if you don't want the sleeve, because I actually wanted a sleeve for mine, I did not turn the armhole. See, I've joined it here. I didn't turn the armhole because I was going to add a sleeve, attach a sleeve to mine. So that's why I didn't join the armhole. I didn't turn the armhole. But if you're not going to have your own without the sleeve, you just go ahead and turn the armhole of both the front and the back. So I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. I'll join the shoulder and join the sides with my sewing allowance, and then I'll bring it back to show you what it looks like. So this is it. I've joined the sides. I've joined the sides and I've joined the shoulder. See how pretty it's looking. The cup is cupping and it's looking really fine. So I'll go ahead and bring my lower part. I cut this strap. It's just a strip of fabric. The length is 24 inches as long as I want. It's okay, it's 22 inches. That is the length I want. And then the width is 3 times the waist measurement. So if your waist measurement is 22, 23, you just double the measurement, triple the measurement, sorry. And that's what I used here. So I'm just going ahead to fold this into 2 equal parts because we're going to do something at the center. I'm going ahead to fold it into 2 equal parts. Let me take out this one. So you see, I'll fold it into 2 equal parts like so. And then at the center, at the front there, the center there, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches or 4 inches, but I did 3.5 inches. And then I brought my upper bodice and I just placed it like so. Just watch how I'm going to place it because I want to have the same back effect at the front of this fabric. This will make it sit clean and fine at that front part where we have the back effect. If you don't do this, it's going to have a bulge. So I'm just placing it there and then I'll mark it out. Just trace out that V part, that's back line. See, and then I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll go ahead and use my scissors and cut it out. So this is how it's going to be. I'll now go ahead and bring it and match the midpoints to the center of my upper bodice like this. And I'm going to stitch straight. I'm going to place it straight like this and stitch to each dart, one side of the dart here and the other side of the dart here. Then I'll start my gathers after the darts. See what I mean? I've stitched it. So the center part is just flat without gathers. The gather started after the dart, so I just made a flat stitch at that midpoint and then I gathered the rest of the fabric. So that's how I did it. And this is the back, the inside. So I'm going to get my lining so that I can use it to cover these rough edges. So I did the same thing to the lining. I still folded it into 2 and did the back effect on the lining. I made a V there at the lining. So I'll just go ahead and do the same thing. Stitch to the dart, straight stitch to the dart, and then I'll gather the remaining one at the sides. The same way we did to the fabric. We'll just do it like this and use it to turn up this. I'll go ahead and do it now, bring it back. So this is it. I've done it. And I folded the sides. See how clean it's looking inside. And I folded the sides too here. I'll go ahead and stitch this down, fix my zipper, and then I'll wear it for us to see what it looks like. I'll also fold the down, that's hem the down part of the dress, and then I'll fix the zipper and bring it back for us to see what it looks like. I'll fix my sleeves, but that'll be later. I'll just wait for us to see what it looks like. So this is it. This is how it's looking all fine, and that's the back of the dress. I haven't decided on the type of sleeve I want for the dress, but if you want to add sleeve, you can go ahead now and add whatever sleeve you want. And this is the end of our tutorial. If this tutorial was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, like, share and comment. See you in my next video. Bye.